Hey, look at this.
You got a box of, oh, you got an old drumstick. That looks like an
No,
old
do you really got it?
looks like an old flathead drumstick. That's old.
Dry
Oh,
Lake.
oh, that's an old dry lake.
Yeah.
Is John special or what?
Double John.
Double John. You pulled that out of the box of diabetes fun run t-shirts that didn't get given out. All the mediums,
Oh, look at this.
all the mediums and larges. What's that?
All the,
What is it? I can't see it.
it's a Sundance.
Oh, something you stole from the library?
The archives in Billings.
Sundance VHS. They're looking for that.
They ain't getting it back. Yeah, I recorded VH1 music videos over it.
It's a Betamax. What you got there? You got a conference, your classic conference badge. Yeah. That's where is that at? I can't see it.
This one is this was the Phoenix one just recently. But under the title, it says Aaron Brien, Crow Tribal Stork Preservation Officer, and it says tribal member.
Oh yeah. That's the one you should have had him change it to Medicine Man.
I know. I asked them, and they said next year.
Aaron Brien, Medicine Man. Aaron Brien.
Remember?
Remember? Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember. I remember what you said. Yeah. I'm feeling run down, man. Run down. There's a limit, you know.
I don't know what I'm doing here.
Come on, man.
Oh, in a good way, she said.
Plug your mic in a good way.
In a good way. Yeah.
Yeah, in a good way.
Like that.
Now, do you smudge the adapter, or which part of the mic would you smudge? Were you talk into, or were you plug in?
That's a great question.
Let's not talk about smudging, man.
Oh, dude, I got sick of that word.
We beat it up good. I was trying to get you on a funny, but you weren't turning. Something's wrong with you yesterday. Something was wrong with you. That's all right, though. We have our days.
We do.
Yeah. That's good to document them.
Mama said there'd be days like that.
Mama said, what does he say? Mama said, I don't remember. See,
you don't.
No. I got a lot on my mind work-wise, and I'm trying to pull out of it. Get ready for the weekend of nothingness. You know?
Get your shit together, Carol.
I know. Would you just have all your stuff thrown in a box?
Can't hear you.
You got all your stuff. You took all your stuff and you just wiped it or dumped it in a box.
That's my podcast box, man.
Why don't you just leave it set up? Is it in the way?
Well, I did. Oh, no. Actually, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Just leave it set up, man. Quit being a juvenile.
So how long are we gonna do this tonight? Come on now, get with it.
I'm waiting for you.
No.
I haven't even done nothing. I'm just sitting here patiently waiting.
As is tradition. Eating during the podcast.
Yeah, you eat.
Where'd my pop go?
Oh God. Where's my pop? Oh man, you got issues. Come on, man. Yeah. Yeah, so we're sort of at the midterm.
I admit I feel a bit more lively tonight.
You seem it. Yeah, you're somewhat depressed. I was contemplating calling the sheriff to do a welfare check on you. Make sure you made it through the night. But I didn't. I didn't. I figured you're an adult. You'll make it. You'll be fine.
The sheriff called the sheriff, you said?
I was gonna call the sheriff and have him come do a welfare check on you after the last episode.
I appreciate that.
Well, you would appreciate it if I would have done it, but I didn't.
You know, I had a 3-hour-long Zoom meeting today.
Oh my god.
The
Actually, you
Montana
know what?
burial board.
Actually, you know what? Actually, those are those Zoom meetings are becoming a real chance to catch up on some things because you don't have to really like completely engage.
No,
especially if you're not the main person. Yeah.
It's the Montana burial board, and I cleaned kind of, tried to straighten
Clean.
up and clean
Oh.
and did some laundry. I got out the old glass cleaner, did some picture frames.
What?
Yeah.
Man. You're just trying to show off.
I am.
That's okay, man. You gotta have some pride, You gotta have some pride.
Self-esteem, some goddamn self-esteem.
And if you ain't gonna have pride for anything, well, it ought to be a burial board,
Yeah. You should be on the burial board. We should appoint you to the burial board.
Oh man, no. I don't need to be appointed to any more things.
Mm-hmm. You need more.
I'm up to my gills in things.
All right.
That's a weird thing in what does that mean? I'm up to my gills. It's a reference to a fish.
Your neck high. The fish's gills are near the neck.
But fish are never up to their gills in anything. They're always
water.
But they're never up to their gills. They're always over their gills. That don't make sense.
They're over their gills with joy. See, I don't know.
I don't get it. Okay. You know what I did? I'm doing. Well, what I've done slowly. I'm slowly compiling a list of like sayings like we just had that used to be in the old time days.
Yeah.
Because I'll talk to my kids and I'll say, hey, you better get on the ball, man. And they're like, well, what ball should I get on? I'm like, yeah, why do we say that? We ain't in a circus. We ain't circus animals. Or you better get your act together. We ain't stage actors. We're not thespians. What? Why? Why would we do that? So then what's another one? Oh, there's a good one too. Get your act together. Get on the ball. What's the other one? There's more. Let me think. I'm thinking because I use it.
Get squared away.
Yeah, get squared away. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, what does that mean? I use them. I'll use them in my classes sometimes, and I have a high number of international students. Well, so they have no idea.
They're all international students.
Well, whoa, woke. We got woke Aaron today. All right. Dare I say decolonial Aaron? No.
Decolonized?
Yeah, decolonized Aaron.
I'm resilient Aaron.
You're calling me out. You're calling me out on my colonial talk. Anyway, I don't. So yeah. What? Okay. So there's a thing. There's this thing that
You're not playing a song?
Oh yeah, let's do that. I forgot about that. Yeah, here's a good one here that
I got it queued up too.
I got it queued up. I'm trying to let's see. Okay, I got it. Listen to this, man.
We're not playing no boring ass.
What?
Huh?
What did you say?
Oh, nothing.
Playing no boring. You know what I did? I didn't oh, here we go. Yeah, okay, listen to this, man. This is a familiar sound. Should be. Of course, you weren't alive during these times. I was 2.
know this song. I know this song.
You know this song, yeah. There's most of these songs during this time have that start that really speeds up, but it doesn't just blast right into it. It just like ramps up, and by the end they're cooking, man.
I mean, I would know because you're talking over the song.
Oh, okay. Listen. Here we go. Here we go. Here it goes. There it goes. Slam it.
Give me some slams.
Slamming them. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Can't believe you did slam it.
Slam it. That's
That's from over this way.
That was over your neck of the woods there. Crow Fair 1976.
That's a classic tune. That song still sung. People sing that song.
Yeah.
That song.
Yeah. That song. What you know any of the origin of it, any of that business?
No.
Yeah.
It's definitely from that time. I bet that was made in the late 60s.
Yeah. A lot of songs like that now, I guess, you know. Well, I don't know if there's been a revival in that where people, well, some people do, yeah. They say, oh, that's so-and-so's song. You know, maybe not an individual, but they know what group sings it. If you're sort of in the in crowd, then you know who composed it.
But there's been a lot of tape finds lately.
Tape finds? See, now, if your mic was like that, your audio sounds good, man.
You want me to keep it like this?
That's why I bought you that mic arm, so you could. Just got to go over to your storage and get it.
I don't want to conform.
Okay, all right. Anyways, tell me.
Tape find.
Tape. So you've been finding tapes. Where at? The pawn
just
shop?
in general. Just in general, people listen to old tapes and they'll say, "I heard this song on this tape."
Oh!
They call that a tape. They call that a tape find.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I got curious once, and I thought, I wonder if anybody sells old recordings, old powwow recordings, you know. So I looked up on eBay, of course, nothing. Scoured the internet, nothing.
Big Crane.
Oh yeah. He probably has a treasure trove of Arley powwow.
He was kind of a Fort Hall guy too, remember?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm assuming he has some regional sounds. But yeah, I thought, boy, that'd be nice to get a hold of somebody's collection and they just tired of it and want to get rid of it before, you know, it goes to the junk pile. I don't know. I got a lot of tapes I'm still working on. I'm sitting right next to about 30 tapes. I still got to digitize and throw up on the YouTube channel, but it's labor. And I got a box of probably about 40 reel-to-reels. They're long too. I recorded one onto my computer. It took 3 hours. 3 hours.
That's awesome though, man.
No, it is. That's like 3 hours of music you don't hear no more.
You're doing like real work. That's like real preservation, archival work.
It is, yeah. And I'm not getting paid for it. It's labor of love, man. Labor of love. Yeah.
Like the UB40 album?
The UB40, yeah. And I'm trying to share it with everybody. I put it on YouTube so everybody can hear it. Share it with the world.
For the people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. One of the characteristics of our cultural ways that sort of a negative, so that we feel like a need to hoard things. We've talked about it before. The roots of it. What I'm curious, this is what I'm curious about. Is there an opposite? Instead of hoarding, like you're imposing.
Oh,
like
I don't know if imposing is if there's that, but there's people who give too much culturally.
Right.
I think too generous.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
too generous.
I think there's a happy medium that needs to occur.
Sure. I was thinking more. Well, I was thinking on the lines.
I'm talking about giving it to white people. Like,
no. Oh yeah. Yeah, that happens a lot.
I don't think you can be too generous with your own people when it comes to knowledge and things. But
that's what I'm curious about, because I think there is.
Oh, nice. We're opposing sides.
I think there is, but not in the way that you're thinking about it, because you're thinking about cultural knowledge of tradition and custom.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm talking about.
And I'm talking about the imposition of a way of thinking that's not of the norm. So the people,
like an ideology.
Yeah, the people that come knocking on your door and they hand you those little pamphlets. Awake.
Oh, Watchtower.
And Watchtower.
Why are we attacking them? What
I'm not attacking them. I'm saying they're spreading the word, right? Spreading the word.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So I'm curious about interfamily sort of impositions. There's that one. You have that one cousin or the one brother who says you should do it this way. Why are you doing it that way? Where then they take it to the next level where they're imposing some sort of, I don't know, spiritual practice on you.
You just described me. I'm that person.
You're the guy. Why are you doing it that way? You should do it this way.
Why you do it? You should do it this way. That's the right way.
It's the right way. Yeah.
I feel a bit attacked, Shandin.
Well, I know you need it. You got to center yourself. Yeah. So this idea,
I've been on both sides of that deal, where I've been the person who's imposed, a belief or a practice on somebody.
Yeah.
But I've also been the person where it's been put on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an inconvenience, but I guess.
Would you call that ethnocentric? If it's something inside your own ethnic domain?
I don't know if that's a centrism, is it?
I don't know. I mean, if you go on sort of the definition, what?
Do you remember that word we used to throw around a long time ago? It was called octology. Do you remember that?
Octology.
I learned this from you.
Octology? I never heard of it. Are you saying it right? Oh, you mean ontology? No?
I can't remember. This is years ago, man. This was a Shandin word. What? Remember that podcast where you said a word? Underlying magistrate.
Yeah. Non-overlapping magisteria. Yeah.
Man, that's crazy, dude. Like how you know that stuff. Underline what? Non-overlapping
magisteria. Yeah.
Remember? Oh, because I kept thinking of magistrate.
Well, that's the root. The magistrate is sort of like this, like the set of rules or whatever. Okay, keep going. I don't know what you're talking about. Octology. I know ontology, which is, everybody tosses that word around quite a bit. Just sort of like
it's loading right here.
Your foundation of your reality or what have you, what you believe to be real and true. Yeah, octology. I don't know what octology is though. Don't know. But
Weird.
trying to get to a point. You're derailing me. You're
Oh, okay.
derailing me. But go
Sorry.
ahead, keep looking it up. I don't know his word.
I can't find it. Maybe it's not ontology because I remember we had a conversation about this.
Octology. I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm saying it wrong.
Yeah, you are. I think so. But anyway, let's get back to this because I'm
Yeah,
trying to
do
get to this point that you're trying to make in a roundabout way.
Ontology.
Ontology.
On
Spell
O-N-T.
Uh-huh.
Oh, now it's loading. Sorry.
What is going on with your cellular, man? Horrible.
Oh, this service sucks here, man.
Yeah. Agreed.
Ontology. That's the word.
Ontology. Yeah.
That's not ontology.
Yeah. Ontology. Ontology.
All right, man. You're right.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Can you just edit this whole part out?
No, it's staying.
Is ridiculous.
It's staying. Yeah, I'll do some with it. Yeah, study of existence, reality. What is real? Anyway, dang it. Okay. This is what I'm trying to say.
All right, go ahead. Mute me, dude.
No, yeah, you got this way. You got this way, man.
Do it.
This way. I don't know.
Do it.
So what I'm trying to get to is this. There's times when the beliefs in the family serve as a wedge to separate the core values and beliefs of that family, even if they're of the same sort of ethnic belief systems. I don't know if I kind of talked in a circle there. So there's always that one. There's always that. So in the family, there's always that one who just all of a sudden they become ultra tradish, They become ultra tradish. And then they're trying to get everybody else to be ultra tradish, And then there might be another one who's sort of following the word of the Lord, and there's some division.
What are you doing right now?
And then there's another one who just wants to be a res dude.
Why are you coming at me like this? I feel attacked.
Yeah, you should. Because am I describing your family or what?
Describing. Yeah, you are, dude. You're describing your family.
I know. Yeah. Well, yeah. This is standard. This is the thing. And then there's the one who sort of doesn't care about going ultra tradition. That's not concerned with the Bible and the church. They're just got a good tribal job and they're just trying to keep it and have a good time on the weekends every now and then. And they don't want to learn how to build a sweat house and go sacrifice and do all these things. They don't want to do any of those things. They don't. They're done.
Read my diary.
Am I reading your diary?
Yeah. My dream journal.
You had some dreams about this?
What about this? So you have families, whether they be immediate or just one removed in terms of extended families.
Yeah.
Where you have competitive beliefs.
Yeah.
What I've noticed in the last 30 years of practitioners' culture is that preservation in itself, heritage preservation and the way people preserve culture has created wedges even within families. Because you have people who might be, it's typically what I've seen, Christian versus native, right?
Oh,
beliefs.
Okay. Yeah.
So we'll see like people who take on the beliefs of their own people are in direct conflict with like a sibling or even their parents. So as culture dwindles, that means you have these pockets of people that are participants in culture.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no rhyme or reason for their participation, because in 60 years ago, you could guess by families, right? You could say
Right.
this family is a traditional family. So it was that way for generations.
Yeah.
But now it's not that way. You might have what used to be considered a traditional family. None of those younger people practice anything.
Right.
And vice versa, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then that's like the real clear and obvious thing.
Yeah.
But over the last couple of years, I've noticed there's a change. There's like division in families, like even nuclear families are siblings and stuff,
Yeah.
where there's
Why though? Is it the same reasons you're talking about? Religious?
I don't know, Matt. Typically religion, and
Okay. Well, that makes sense. I mean, this just makes sense.
I mean, you look at like your own family, right? You can
Yeah.
say, I would say overall your family is native. Their beliefs are native, but even within that, there's like clear differences.
Yeah, there is.
Not only in depth of knowledge,
Yeah.
but like interpretation of knowledge.
Yeah, to that detail, yes. Because unfortunately, well, I don't know if it's just I wouldn't say if it's unfortunate, and it might just be normal part of sort of just cultural evolution in a way. But yeah, there's some agreement on things, and then there's some things that there just isn't agreement on,
And there'll probably never be agreement on.
and maybe there never has been.
Well, I think overall, there hasn't been like uniformity.
Yeah.
But it's also very common, like say you're a good example because you have like a lot of brothers, or 3 brothers.
Yeah.
Let's say it's 100 years ago. You guys typically will learn, for the most part, your foundation is going to be from the same source.
Right.
And then as you get older, you'll go and do your own thing.
Yeah.
But now we live in a time like where a sibling, and it's usually family related, right? It's an extended family.
Yeah.
Now, like say I learned a lot from people I'm not related to at all.
Yeah.
So that also means you take on some of the beliefs of that family.
Of the one that you're learning from.
Which might be a different vibe than your own direct family. And I always wondered if there was a way to study that, like a way. So we always look at preservation and culture loss. It's like that's just 2 clear things, but we don't look at it minutely, where it's in groups, and even within those groups that you have factions and beliefs, and that you can have a family that's divided. Like there's Crow families that one sibling speaks Crow and the other doesn't, and they're raised in the same home.
Yeah.
Or you can have someone who's a practitioner of the religion of Crow people, and their sibling is devoutly Pentecostal.
Yeah.
Raised in the same home.
Yeah.
So there's no spiritual uniformity. So that means when you're like a family gathering can be a little more convoluted.
Yeah.
As opposed to just being like, okay, let's just do this,
Yeah. Let's do a prayer circle for Thanksgiving, and then on Christmas we'll smudge the Christmas tree.
Why? Quit it with the smudging.
Oh yeah. Okay. We'll quaff the Christmas tree with.
I've never heard that word in my life.
Quaff.
What are you doing? Where are you from?
What?
Who says that?
Nobody. That's why I said it. This is funny. Nobody says that. It's weird.
That in honor? Oh, Scott Momaday died. Is that in honor of Scott Momaday?
Did he say that? I don't know.
No, it just sounds like a Momaday word.
Momaday quaff the turtle shell with the sacred leaves of
the stop! Don't
sage.
say it. Don't.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it. They did not say it. Okay, back to this thing, because this is a
Very
phenomenon.
unattractive word.
It is a very attractive word. Yeah, it almost needs a censor. Almost.
Hey, you remember that video you made of us talking where you just beeped random stuff?
Yeah, that was a good one. Marty. It was a Marty was on an episode, and yeah, I put a beep sensor sound every time somebody said indigenous or something like that, or I don't know.
Yeah, and it sounds crazy. It sounds like your cousin.
Yeah.
Which we do cuss, but or I do. You don't very much.
No.
So my question is, how can you study
Okay.
that? And how would it benefit? How would it benefit people?
Yeah, I don't know about the benefit. Well, there's got to be a benefit. How would you study it? Yeah, I mean, you'd have to really dive into the eras in which those folks are raised, because you know how it is. It's just like any family dynamic. The oldest one gets all the attention. The middle child gets nothing. And then the baby gets, you know, everything left over. They get the dying last wishes of the parents.
Actually, this is what I'll say. In Indian families, the oldest gets all the attention, the youngest gets all the freedom.
There it is. That's kind of the word I was looking for, I guess. Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna get things, but they're just like free to go, do what you want.
I mean, the oldest one could have got the belt, you know, and then the youngest never, ever gets the belt.
It just gets, but the oldest one gets all the Kool-Aid, you know.
It gets the first drink.
Especially in these Crow families, man. The oldest boy or the boy, like
spoiled rotten,
man.
Awful. Oldest, the oldest in the family, awful. I could say that because I'm not the oldest. Yeah, they're weird.
With the mom the longest.
The biggest whiner about things.
Whiner.
So stubborn. Like they will never change their ways.
Everyone owes them something.
Yeah.
Wait, who's the oldest in your family? Ticini?
Yeah. And
is Natani older than you?
Yeah, he's older than me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I'm in the middle. I don't really know what the middle does.
Out of your mom's kids.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
The agency road kids.
Yeah. You know what? I don't know about that thing you're talking about. I think the curious thing is probably the more curious thing is how within that set of siblings, ones can abandon tradition readily. And I think it might be possibly influence from a spouse that causes it, because you know, spouses are highly influential on what we sort of our path we choose, you know. So I
would agree.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's it. Maybe, you know, maybe it's, I don't know. That's curious.
You could probably argue. That's good. You could probably make the argument that a spouse might be the most influential in adulthood.
Yep.
Especially on practices.
I agree. Yeah. Someone to keep you from touching unclean things, if you will. I don't know.
What the hell's that mean?
Yeah, you know, don't touch the unclean things of the natives and come out from
that word.
Come out from among them and be separated with the children of God.
What the hell are you talking about? What is this?
I don't know.
What is this?
I'm just letting it flow, man. I'm just letting it flow.
All right, let's change topics then.
But I should say that no, I'm not against anybody believing in a higher power. No, man. They ought to. If it fulfills your life and makes your life meaningful, you should. But the strange thing is, you know, I don't know how many decades and generations have gone through the the influence of Christianity, Catholicism, and I would say only a small percent of natives have actually fully embraced the vibrant born again relationship with Jesus Christ.
Dude, I don't know what you're talking about, right? What is going on here?
I don't know. I just it's coming out. I told you I'm sort of a fence post today. Okay, change topics.
Fencepost don't ramble. You're rambling,
not.
man.
Okay. All
What
right.
is this?
Okay. Let's
I'm the
get
king of rambling. I know a ramble.
well, maybe it's my turn. I'm the rambler today.
Well, you got to edit it, so
No,
have
I'm
at
not.
it.
I'm not. I'm just gonna. This one's going raw.
Oh. Dude, don't. What is going on?
What's wrong with you, man? Okay, let's reel it in. You reel it in.
Me-
I'm not gonna.
Me?
I'm way out here.
I was trying to sound smart. You're over there quaffing things and touching unfavorable things, and I don't know what you're doing. I don't know where you're at right now. You're
Okay.
talking in the metric system right now.
Okay,
and I don't know.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna
Okay.
recenter, refocus.
So let's say this. Let's say this.
Okay. This will get us back.
That was the question. The overall question is that because of culture loss, culture dwindles. But
Okay.
in that, because of the dwindling, it pops up and revitalizes itself in certain pockets, but those pockets aren't uniform like they were in the past. Like they're just straight across the board. People know stuff, people practice.
Yeah.
That dwindles. Now it's popping up everywhere. So that also means that those individuals are creating divisions in families based on culture. And I just don't think it's something people look at. We just kind of look at preservation effort. Everybody's learning culture. Or here's the second language learners, and they're praising that. All of us are praising that.
Yeah.
Not knowing that it actually can create like ideological differences in families, which can lead to like fractions.
Mhm.
Factions, not fraction.
Fractions.
Fractions.
Okay.
So that's all I was saying. Okay.
It can.
We're done with that.
Oh, okay. Well, I had more to say, but that's fine.
Oh, go ahead.
No.
Are you gonna?
It's just a reflection.
Let's hear it then.
I'm a fence post. Go.
No, let's hear it. I want to hear your thoughts.
No, it's the family unit that you just described. If I was to throw out a fancy word, it's like a microcosm of the tribal unit
today.
Yep.
Because
that thing you described, you could bundle that up into any tribal group, and you see that same phenomenon replicated from the family unit to the larger tribal unit. Divisions because of the loss of tradition and custom, the process of revival to fill that void by something, and that filling of the void is uneven. And then there's pockets of people who attempt to revive or reclaim the traditions that were lost prior to the revival of certain traditions. Yeah. And then among that, then you get, like you said, division. You get people saying, no, this is the right way. No, this is the right way, etc. We know that.
And I think it's even deeper than just like practices, like just saying, oh, this is the way you should do this. I think it's a foundational thing. It's saying,
oh, man, yeah.
I mean, you could have, it's not.
Yeah, it's not. Keep going. Look like that one Muppet. You know that one Muppet with the mouth that's like that. It's got the little it's got the little fuzzy head. Yeah. I'm cutting you off.
So it's deeper than just ritual and practice. Like,
sure.
Yeah, I think that's not nearly as severe a problem, because what that would mean is that foundation of those two people is built on the same thing. So they'll say, no, I practice it because of this reason. I practice it because of this reason. Those reasons are different. I'm
Yeah.
talking about what those are built on are completely different. The foundation of families and individuals no longer is the foundation uniformed like it was before. So you look at those first two generations of Christian people.
Yep.
Overall, their worldview was still native.
Yeah.
So like they're learning Christianity in the church from a certain perspective, right?
Yeah.
Now we're in a place where we're 3, 4, 5 generations.
Yeah.
So now nowhere near them anymore is the foundation of native people.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
people are learning cultures. And so what that means when you learn a culture secondary, it's learned at a different pace.
Yeah. Yeah.
So because you're playing catch up,
Yeah.
right?
For a different purpose.
For a different purpose. You're learning things faster. It's bunched up. There's kind of an anxiety that comes with it. And this is stuff people probably don't ever talk about, but there's an anxiety that comes with learning culture because you're trying to make up for lost time. And there's also a fear of messing up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, where like if your foundation is that,
Mm-hmm.
there's a comfort level to that that's different.
Yeah.
And because I wasn't raised ultra traditional, there's certain things that I have that anxiety with. There's certain things I don't because my foundation was built on that, right? But because of my, like, it's like a muscle because I chose to keep that foundation active and like certain, maybe my siblings didn't. So my comfort level is different with it, which also means that your stress with certain things is different, your anxieties with certain, your confidence with certain things is different, your ideology is going to be different.
Yeah.
Your motives are and intent will be different
Yeah.
because your foundation has a different source to it. Where like some of my cousins, we were all raised together. They're not going to have that because as they got older, they didn't exercise that muscle, which we could say is culture, right? Heritage.
Okay.
And they chose to do something else, whether that's the church or just reservation life, right? So their comfort level in those things is higher.
Right. Right.
So do you get what I'm saying now?
I do.
So that means there's a complete ideological clash happening. If any of this makes sense, blink your eyes.
Blinking. No,
So
okay.
it just seems like that's more prevalent now.
Yeah. And I'm ready to
where
launch
it wasn't.
into...
Where it wasn't.
It wasn't. Or we think it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Maybe it was. How do you know?
No, it wasn't because
You
their
weren't there.
foundation was built on the same thing.
Yeah, I suppose, but
What do you mean you suppose?
Okay. Let me just I'll let that one go. Because that's
No, I want
it's
you
silly
to argue that point.
It's silly to argue about it. It's that's like the 9-year-old response. But is it really? How is that? Are you sure?
I am sure.
Wow. How?
I'm totally sure.
Wow, are you sure?
Culture is a spectrum.
But how do you know that?
Leaning towards a
Well,
certain...
who told you that? No, I'm just kidding. Okay. All right. No. There's some interesting things you said here that I want to reflect back on.
Man, I wanted to argue, man.
Well, let's argue about it real quick then. Okay. No, I'm serious. Let's do it. Okay. Right. So if you claim that this phenomenon of people having a different foundational, cultural, traditional structure did not exist in the past. So the claim is, and correct me if I'm wrong, that a family back in, I don't know, let's pick a time period. 200 years ago? Is that good?
Sure.
Fair to say? 200 years ago has the same foundation.
They would have, yes.
I mean, I think that's true.
The family group would have had the same foundation. That doesn't mean in practice they would have been different. So the physical reaction of that ideology
Yeah.
is ritual, ceremony, right? So their
Yeah.
interpretation of ceremony, ritual, custom might be different, but the foundation is the same because
Yeah.
they're arguing the same point, right? Do
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying?
I do now. Yeah. I agree now. And that brings up one
Okay.
of my points that I have. So first, this is when you were talking about this about revival of cultural practices. I think the odd thing that happens in that whole dynamic you discussed is that revival becomes the practice, not necessarily the practice serving the original purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. And
Yeah.
remember, we kind of briefly talked about
We
this
did.
one time. So,
We did.
and that's a whole nother element. Those people 200 years ago were not negotiating.
No, didn't need to. There's no
So
need to.
now the idea of being a practitioner now sometimes is for the simply just for the sake of preservation.
Yeah, and that's totally
Where that-
different.
Totally different.
That puts that practice in a totally different tradition or purpose in a way. It hasn't quite
we're
found
cooking with grease now.
it hasn't quite found its in purpose and intent in modern society. The next point,
Mhm.
okay, is that this phenomenon that happens, like I said, where there's sort of this internal family drift to different foundations. I see that happen when, and I'll throw out another fancy term here, when the matriarch passes away in the family. That's kind of is the like the gathering point of all these, siblings, maybe aunts and uncles, if you will. You know those families who have that one person, like they all meet at their house. They're all doing all these things together at that house, and that person passes away. Then the family just kind of they drift until they develop around another person or thing.
And I think that, to use your word, phenomenon didn't exist 200 years ago. I think that's a result of something today. So like that happened on my dad's family when my when his mother passed away. It kind of crumbled the family unit.
Yeah.
On my mom's side, it was her dad.
Mm-hmm.
And that unity hasn't, and they've never really recovered from it.
Yeah, that happens. And I think you're right. I don't know if you're right. It seems to be true that kind of thing didn't happen in the past because
it didn't
well,
because of the cultural confidence was so different. It's hard for people to understand that how different it was and how strong it was because the beliefs were so regimented and they were so living that the response to like a death was far different than it is now.
Yeah.
Far different.
No, I think I kind of see that. I would somewhat challenge that, but I don't have no good I don't have a good allegory to say, well, what about
okay.
But I don't want to because I got
even
more
now
points.
there's oh shit, go ahead.
I got more points. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Yeah.
We're saving our last two podcasts with this conversation.
What? The last two were good? What are you talking about?
All right. Okay. Agree to disagree.
Arguable. Okay. Yeah, so this I guess this point was related to some of the other ones. So nowadays, the argument that sort of splits families is often about things that we don't even practice. You can see it like in language revitalization. Oh, we don't talk like that. Well, we don't talk at all the language,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or we shouldn't use cutoff words. Well, we not even at a level to even decide whether we had to use full or cutoff words. And that can go into any practice, like, oh yeah, we don't build a sweat house like that. Well, you don't even build a sweat house. So what are you even getting involved in this?
Yeah,
don't even worry
that's
about
actually a common argument here is people like learning Crow. They'll say, like one time, okay, this is very common here because there's still a lot of people who speak Crow.
Yeah.
But you'll have like levels of speaking, right? So like people will come and they'll start talking to each other.
Yeah.
And then when that person leaves, I've heard this a lot, man.
Yeah.
It's kind of backstabby, kind of bitchy in a way.
Yeah.
That
Mean
person will
girls.
leave and they'll say, yeah, kind of mean girlish. They'll say, they don't speak, man, they don't speak good crow. Their crow's bad. But they just had a whole conversation in the
Yeah.
crow language
Yeah.
and understood each other. So then in my mind, from a non-crow speaking person, I'm like, you're making that critique on someone you just had a conversation with
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
crow. So
Yeah.
like, how bad are they?
Yeah. You understood them.
Because you answered them.
Yeah.
So would
Yeah.
and people are getting picky because language is dying so fast that at the end of the day, would you rather have people speaking bad crow or no crow?
Yeah. 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 And some people would say, no, no crow.
Yeah, no crow.
You ain't
Yep.
gonna do it right, then we'll just let it die.
And then those people speak badass crow and their kids don't speak crow at all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The irony of all that. And then here's the last point. And this is one I've been thinking about quite often, and you sort of turn the light bulb on in my head, because I can see these two pathways now. So consider the individual who's sort of a culturally knowledgeable person, raised as traditional as you can in this day and age, so they're competent. They're culturally competent in the traditions and customs of today. Then you have the person who has decided to go the other route, and they've taken on the traditions and customs of a different way. And the easy one is the Christian or Catholic way, but I don't want to pick on that too much. But okay, so they've decided a different path. So what you had said was those are two different foundations of sort of belief, or what you'd say ontology. That's that word you said I was talking about. Two understandings of existence. Now that relies on them believing in that wholeheartedly without doubt and skepticism, because if there's skepticism, then my next point doesn't really make sense. So my thought was, and this thought was sort of drifting around as part of me trying to understand this new age thing of indigenous research methodologies, and that's got to rest on something. One really important point that I don't think is talked about enough, and that's the concept of logic and how we deduce or induct a pattern of reasoning to figure things out. So if you take those two people and they both have two different foundations, it seems like they might come to a different conclusion via a logical route based in that foundation. So then
that's badass what you just said.
Yeah, and that's what causes sort of a division, because one person can't even conceptualize their logical pathway because it's not even housed in their foundation. And the other one can't see the other one's point either because their logics don't match. And I thought from the get-go years ago, I thought, well, logic is logic. It's a human endeavor and it can't be different. I don't know if I fully believe that all the way, but I don't know if I have all the evidence to say, no, there's truly like an indigenous logic pattern. And so
I would say there is okay. Because man, this is badass.
Okay. All right.
And you're smart, dude.
Okay.
So
keep going.
Okay. Logic in itself has a foundation. It's not a standalone thing.
Yeah.
And logic in itself is a human endeavor, right? It's not necessarily a biological trait like how a tiger would hunt. That's instinctual. That's different. I think that has a different mechanism.
Or it may be a different form of logic, but not like we think of as human.
It's an logic. It's an obedient logic. One time my grandma said the difference between us and animals is animals are obedient. They were commanded to do something one time and they've never veered from it. us, we've constantly been in question. We've questioned it, right?
Yeah.
So our logic comes from a different foundation. So what you're saying is these worldviews, these belief systems create a different foundation, which then creates a different accounting of the world,
Yeah. Yeah.
which your logic is an accounting of something.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say. You said it better than me, but that was the whole question. My
Yeah.
whole question was that this division that's created, maybe that's it. It's a division of logic, like how people
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
are explaining their existence.
Yeah.
They're explaining their endeavors, their negatives, their positives. Everything comes from that. So then
Yeah.
when you have this division in families, it's not simply a division of practice.
Yeah. It goes deeper.
It's deeper.
Yeah.
And
It
I'm
has to
seeing
be.
that. I see it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And they're both right. That's the thing. Based on their foundation, they're both right.
Well, yeah. I mean,
And that's where the problem is. That's the problem is they're both right. So how are you going to tell this person in terms of preservation and understanding native worldview? Like, how are you going to tell that person they're wrong? Because based on their foundation
Yeah.
and their reasoning,
Yeah.
what is that? Deductive reasoning? Is that
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of the patterns of logic. Yeah.
okay? Based on that, that's hatched from a different egg, you know?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
What? What did I say?
No, you didn't say nothing. I'm contemplating. I'm contemplating because
You're fence posting me right now.
I am because I'm thinking deeply about this because I mean then this goes back to the same argument that well maybe there isn't different logic. There's just different foundations, which would lead to a different ontology, a different
The only
worldview.
reason somebody would say there's make that argument is because they're saying it from their own foundation.
What are you like trying to reverse psychology me? What's going on? The only reason you'd say that is because it's your foundation. It's yours.
Dude, I'm telling you, man.
That's why you don't get me, because it's my foundation.
No, I would say our foundations are closer.
No, yeah, I
you
agree.
and
I
have
agree.
you and I have a stronger cultural foundation than I have with some of my first cousins or people I was raised with, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
And there's just things we're never gonna see eye to eye, you know.
Yeah. So I think so. This is what my thought was when you're saying that is, yeah, I think, and this is really interesting research that really lights my brain up. Is I want to see these logical pathways and see how different they really are when sort of two people come to the same conclusion with different backgrounds or different foundations. Do they even come to the same conclusion? And
I think they can, but showing their work, like remember though in elementary school, and you have to show your work on math. There was always that one kid that could do the math, but his work was not what the teacher wanted it to be. So it'd be the same thing. So
yeah,
it'd be cool to see though. It'd be cool to see.
I think so, and I'm really really curious about this this idea because I think I would suspect it's probably more complicated than just a difference, if there is a difference in the logical pathway. Well,
we need a neuroscientist
maybe
and then a psychologist.
Yeah. Maybe it's not necessarily the logic, like the logic strategy. It's just probably the logic pathway. You know, because we're just humans. We all have a brain that sort of operates the same, but we have these I don't know what they call them, like schemas. That's what they sort of call it, like these pre-built things from our worldview that are familiar. So we hook onto those to try to understand something that is new or that sort of is what I don't know what to call it, like a phenomenon that is unknown. So we have these sets of schemas that we sort of latch onto to make these leaps to try to understand something. And if what you're saying is true, and it seems to be true, then yeah, these people with these different foundations essentially is these sets of you could call them beliefs that they find true. So their logic pattern has to go through these certain steps to say, okay, yeah, I believe that, or I don't believe that, or now I understand that better. So it makes sense then why non-native people have such a struggle understanding some of our realities, because they don't have that those built-in cultural schemas to figure out and understand why we do the things we do, why we got 6 broke down cars in the backyard, or we don't really care about our 401ks. We'll draw it out every 5 years and spend it.
We're going on a trip.
We're gonna go on. We'll take all the kids on a trip.
Their trip is to come on in.
Yeah, go swimming. Missoula.
Man, Indians love come on in, huh?
They do. Yeah. What's up with that? It looks all wooded and foresty. There's nothing like going to the forest without going to the forest. Going to the woods is, man. When I was a kid, my mom would drag us up to Twin Lakes for weeks on end.
Yeah.
And we just suffer, but we'd had fun. But the same pair of socks for 3 weeks. You
and Terry McDonald.
Yeah. Just cold and wet all the time, and your feet hurt, and God, yeah. So the woods, yeah. If you can go to the woods without having to go to the woods, that's awesome.
and that's come on in.
And that's come on in. Plugging for a sponsor from Come On In.
Yeah.
Come on in.
Come on.
Come on in. Kick us some dough. Yeah.
That was badass.
I think so. It's something.
It was rocky. It was rocky at first.
My biblical references weren't doing it for you.
Well, okay. So my critique of what just happened was at first, I think you thought I was talking about the division in practice.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really know what your thoughts were. I was just trying to lead into the idea of division among families. Yeah, but I didn't know. But that's what it seemed like it was heading. Correct.
Yeah, and I didn't want that because that's common, right? That's normal. No variation is good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about that, but you nailed it. You said a bunch of fancy words.
Are you gaslighting me? I think I'm
gaslighting myself.
Yeah. I don't think I used that right.
I think I'm trying to convince myself you were smart just now.
Yeah, I'm not that. I just paid attention for a little bit.
Okay. How long we've been talking?
Hour and 15.
That's a good place to end. Your Fencepost anyway.
Yeah. It's a good one, though. This was.
I liked it. It turned out good.
Yeah, it got me thinking about sort of in this next step of my thought pattern. Do it.
Yeah.
Come up
what was that word? What was that word you said? Schism? What?
Quaif.
Schism?
Quaif.
No. At the end, you were talking about someone's
schema.
Not quaif.
Schema. Yeah.
Schema.
Yeah. Schema.
Schema.
Yeah. That's all it is. So let's look up the definition and we'll just see. Yeah. Schema is just scheme, not a scheme. Schema. Yeah. Representation of a plan or theory in the form of an outline or model. Or in Kantian philosophy, a conception of what is common to all members of a class, a general or essential type or form. That's the one I was using. The Kantian.
Damn, you hit them C's hard.
Kantian.
Yeah, you hit them C's. You hit them Salish. Eat them Salish teas, man.
That was a stress. Those are stressed cues, not stressed cues, not that deep.
No,
Stressed Ks.
no. Stress. Yeah. Oh, you hit him. You hit him Salish style. Maybe Thompson. Maybe Thompson Salish. Okanagan, maybe.
Whoa, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Probably more guttural.
A little more guttural.
Let me see if I can get way down in there in the esophagus.
In the gis part of the esophagus.
Yeah. Way down in the
Put that gis in it.
Okay. This is devolving. Yeah. Let's cut it. Let's cut it there. That's good.
That's plenty. That's plenty of pod, man.
That's good. And you know, yeah, okay. It's done. It's done.